kindness as a new means of success. Hello, my name's Chet Davis, and this is Reflections. Imagine what our neighborhoods would be like if we offered, as a matter of course, just one kind word to another person. So said Fred Rogers. The Dalai Lama said, "My religion is very simple. My religion is kindness." Kindness, or being kind. I want to focus for a few minutes on that word today. If you look it up in most dictionaries, the definition suggests that kindness is the act or the process of being friendly, of being generous, and being considerate. I find it intriguing that kindness oftentimes has a connotation, or has come to have a connotation, that to be kind means you're weak, you're powerless, you're naive, you let people roll over you. And I would assert that I disagree. I believe to be kind, which is a personal trait, to be kind, you actually have to possess courage and inner strength. Maybe not physical strength, but inner strength. And I want to be clear here. I'm not suggesting to be kind, to be a doormat, to let people roll over you. I believe that you can be kind and yet be assertive, to be strongly kind. I think our society has built itself on the precept that you have to be strong to survive. You have to be even mean and self-centered to survive. And again, I would disagree. If you think about survival, many people will fall back to the phrase survival of the fittest. And if I ask you, who's responsible for that phrase? You might say, well, isn't he that scientist, that researcher, that author, Charles Darwin, way back when? Well, scholars would disagree with you. Apparently, Charles Darwin never used the term survival of the fittest. You might discern that from his works. But true scholars who have gone back through Charles Darwin's books, especially his first couple books, would suggest that the theme, rather than survival of the fittest, is survival of the kindest. And here's why. There's one particular phrase that sticks out amongst the many scholars. And that's Charles Darwin in his writings actually argued for, and I quote, the greater strength of the social or maternal instincts more than that of any other instinct or motive. In other words, those societies, those groups, those communities who had a focus on the group, on the community rather than the self, were the ones that were able to bring forth more offspring to an older age who then themselves could reproduce. In other words, survival of the species was more dependent on kindness than it was on self-centeredness. So kindness may very well not only be something that feels good to the recipient and the giver, but also may impact our survival as well as our success. If you were to Google or Bing search the terms success and kindness in business, you might be surprised the number of articles, the number of presidents and CEOs who end up in your internet search. Kathleen Henson is one. She's a founder and CEO of a national PR firm called Henson Consulting. She said her secret to success is to always lead with kindness. Always lead with kindness. What's interesting to me in many articles about success and life and business through kindness is that when we move forward with kindness, there are, of course, a number of benefits. It usually makes us feel good in addition to making the recipient feel good. But one of the other benefits, not that you're setting out to do this, but one of the other side benefits is the creation of an altruistic community. A group of individuals, whether this is a community at church, in your neighborhood, at work, at college, at school. These people, if you're coming from a place of kindness rather than competition, these people are more likely to support your success, both in the now and in the future. In other words, you're creating partners for your success. One story comes to my mind is in an earlier career. I was a high school teacher for 17 years. And my mom and dad just taught me to be kind to people. That's just what I thought you did. And that's, I believe, how I operate on a daily basis. At least I strive to be that kind person. I just saw everybody working with me at the high school on an equal level. Now, certainly there are hierarchical levels in terms of reporting to individuals and answering to certain individuals, and you had your annual review, and that was a supervisor, etc. But I saw the custodian and the school secretary on even par with me. I didn't see myself as a teacher as higher than them. And so I behaved in a way that I believe was kind. And I wasn't striving for anything. I wasn't trying to get anything from them. It's just how I operated. And there was one time, there was a brand new custodian. I would often work late in the afternoon and sometimes into the evening with my student projects. And oftentimes I would encounter the custodians who would come at after the close of school to clean up the school grounds. And I overheard by accident, I was in one room, and it was just adjacent to where the custodial closet was. And I overheard the head custodian introducing a brand new custodian. And he said, that guy there, we take care of him. And it dawned on me that as I treated them with kindness, with respect, as I treated them as another human, as a person, that created an atmosphere. Again, I didn't intend to make this happen, but I created friends, I created supporters, I created allies. You can do that too, wherever you are, throughout your daily life. Now, I'm going to encourage you, I'm going to invite you to join me this week in attempting to perform at least one act of kindness for someone else. Let's start today. It can be something as simple as sharing a kind word or a greeting with a stranger or a neighbor. Maybe it's letting someone go before you in the grocery line, or maybe while driving, when someone puts on their turn signal and instead of speeding up to close the gap, maybe wave them in if it's safe, okay? It might even just be something as simple as flashing a smile to the clerk when you check out at the grocery store or the drugstore. Maybe it's something as significant as help someone move, pulling those big boxes and moving the sofa up a couple levels of stairs. But these acts of kindness, I believe, have the potential, have the power to change our world. They'll certainly change your experience and the experience of those people around you. Now, I'm going to close today with a quote from one of my heroes, one of my mentors, Fred Rogers, the individual who developed and created and wrote and produced and starred in the long-running PBS show Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Now, there's a movie out, you may have heard of it, called Won't You Be My Neighbor? It's the most successful documentary film of all time in terms of revenue and the number of people that have seen it. I strongly encourage you, if you've not seen it yet, to see it. Take the time, take the energy, go out and see it. Or when it comes out on digital form or on DVD, definitely see it. I believe it will bless you. I believe it will challenge you to be a better person in your daily walk. Fred Rogers once said, there are 3 ways to ultimate success. The first way is to be kind. The second way is to be kind. The third way is to be kind. I wish you a week full of kindness. Thanks for joining me today on this episode of Reflections. I hope you found this meaningful, useful, provocative. Go ahead and share your comments, your thoughts in the box below. I'd love to hear what you're thinking. I'd also be curious to check in with you and see, how'd your week go? What did you think about last week's episode? Has it impacted you? Have you modified your thinking, how you're feeling? Have you changed even one little tiny part of your life by believing you are enough? In next week's episode, I'm going to focus on the concept, what you seek is what you get. Have a great day now.